Red Wings yesterday. Huge win. Huge win. And D-Mac, not just like, yes, on surface, huge win, playoff chase, all that stuff. But I keep going back to this, D-Mac. The way they did it. They never trailed. They got the lead, gave it up on a softie, a little bit of a softie there that you talked about, got the lead back, gave it up again. Everything in the world, when you watch that game, everything in the world pointed to Seattle coming back and winning that game. Everything. The vibe, the feel, the crowd, the flow of the game, the puck possession, all of it, except the scoreboard at the end. That's it. Like, that they stole. I don't want to say they stole that win because they never trailed, but that was a spot game. That was a vibe game that wasn't going their way, but they found a way. That's what playoff teams do.
That's road hockey. What you saw,
Yes.
it don't matter. Don't ask how they ask how many, and the fact that they got the 2 points, obviously, and you know, won it the way that they did, killing a penalty late too. I mean, this team, the perseverance. Spenny, you know, they're on the show sheet, had a question. You know, what do you grade the Red Wings of this road trip? What did I say about this road trip? You have to have 4 points, just with the way everything is. I give them a B+. And this is because they lost the first 2 games, had to dig deep and find a way. I know it's Calgary and I know it's Seattle, but it doesn't matter. It's the NHL, and those are tough places to play. It was great to see Reimer go in and a shutout for confidence and stuff like this. And then last night, the bottom line is find a way to get those 2 points, and they did, and now they're coming home. So, yeah, the maturity, Neil. That's the one word I would say is you're watching in front of your eyes is the maturity of this team. Steve Yzerman putting veterans in. So I see everybody. Congratulations to Patrick Kane, 800 assists. You know, really showing that. But I think not only the skill that we see as Patrick Kane's healthy and stuff like this, but there's a quiet leadership about him, right? And a maturity in this locker room that these guys are slowly but surely, you know, getting. And you see that. These last 2 road trips out west that they had, they lost 2 games. So there's like what, 6 and 2 on it and stuff like this. You take that every year, bro.
No doubt.
Every year. So they're doing it. They're keeping pace. They're staying where they are. It doesn't get easier. They got Colorado coming in home, but I think they're finding their way. Now, you know, the big question that we talked about is now what does Steve Yzerman do? So we can talk about ideas for him and stuff like this, but right now I'm nicely done, boys. Nicely done. You got 4 of the 8 points like I asked, and keep on rolling.
No, and it's one of those things too, D-Mac. You brought up Patrick Kane too, third American-born player with 800 assists, and we kind of got in a little bit of a text thread discussion about it last night. With Patrick Kane, it's more, he's more than I thought he would be. And the reason I say that, D-Mac, and it's not just the numbers, because you play as long as he's played, you play at a high level like he's played. The only active player with 800 assists, him and Sidney Crosby right now. By the way, look at that Crosby.
Crosby's such a dirtball.
1,557 points in 1,242 games,
It's
man.
disgusting.
Can't stand it.
Absolutely crazy. Won a cup and a gold medal in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
He's
I know
a
we
dirtball.
hate him,
I hate him, but he's so good.
but he's great.
He's the one guy that
He's the Larry Bird of this generation, by the way.
He's the one guy that you watch mature in front of your eyes. And yeah, he was Sidney Crosby, but no, he as being the face of the league or whatever like this. I mean, he is Steve Yzerman. You know, that Yzerman-esque leadership and stuff like this is going out and getting it. So my hat's off to him. I'm a big Sidney Crosby fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to put it.
And you know what it is? For a star, he takes more abuse than anybody for a star. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like the cheap shots that he takes and stuff like this. But he's tough. He's Yzerman tough too. And that's a whole different level. That's a toughness on a level different than mine.
Real quick, Spenny, like, I was a little kid during the Bad Boys time, but I felt about Larry Bird, probably how you feel about Crosby, where you hate him.
Yeah.
I hate you, but God damn it, I respect you.
Yeah, I hate him so much, but he's so good. He's so big and skilled, and his forehand is just as good as his backhand.
Yeah,
The guy is just a monster out there. But when Jimmy Howard put him in a headlock was great. Great time. Love that. But he's so good. You can't not say that he's he's the greatest of my generation.
Yeah. But anyway, getting back to Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane has been more than I thought he would be. And not just the reason why is the style of play at his age, D-Mac. And I don't know how much longer he's got that for. But as I said yesterday to you guys, if you were an alien that just landed on Earth and you landed inside that arena yesterday in Seattle and you saw Patrick, and you didn't know anything about hockey, and you saw Patrick Kane with the puck, you'd say, that's a good player. That's one of the better players that's out here on the ice. And I'm not overstating that, D-Mac.
Oh, absolutely not.
I'm not overstating that. That is a fact. I'd be happy to break tape. There was a different vibe when he had the control of the puck. There's a different vibe when he does.
Puck possession, and you see it a lot. You're going to see similarities to that with this Colorado team in like a Cale Makar and a Nathan McKinnon. As far as speed with the puck, it's different. But the flow that Patrick Kane has, the way that he handles it, never out of control, right? You know what I'm saying? Those guys are tough to play against because he's so good on his skates. And the biggest thing with Patrick Kane, and I love the fact, right? There were some questions about when he was injured, and they weren't rushing him back, right? They gave him a couple extra days, and usually because being older and stuff like that. But that, to me, that's him knowing his body and being a leader and stuff like that. Because what you're seeing here is a healthy Patrick Kane, and we're talking about Kane now, but look at and whoever wrote it in here, I hated him when he was with the Hawks. You're supposed to.
Yes.
Now you're supposed to love him, just like Charlie, just like everybody else. But yes, so as he continues to stay healthy, because there's a maturity, right? Puck possession, you have to have a confidence but a maturity about you, right? I always tell everybody, like Igor Larionov, and that's what he sort of reminds me of a lot, is Igor Larionov, the way that he has the puck and the way that he can slow in such a even faster game, but he can change the tempo and wait for it, and he's big, hitting the second wave and cross ice seams and stuff like this. He reminds me of Igor that way, right? We're other guys like the grind line ourselves. We can't wait to get rid of it to go hit you to get it back and stuff. It's a whole different game, but that's what Kane brings. And you look at the lineup, you look at the way that I'm finally saying this, Derek Lalonde. He's got his finger on the pulse of this team because he's mixed up the lineups, right? He's mixed up, DeBrincat and Larkin and Kane and whatever. You don't need all your eggs in one basket. You had Rasmussen up on the top line and stuff like this. That's maturity also. So it's so good to see. And shout out, I'm just gonna say, Danny Sprong. I mean, again, doing what he do. He's gonna get to 20 and stuff like this, but those role guys, him and Fisher and Rass and those guys are doing the job. So hats off.
And when I look at Kane and the way he protects the puck when he has it, I haven't seen a wing do that since Hank. Like the way Zetterberg used to use his body to protect the puck is elite, and he is still to this day one of the best tape-to-tape passers in the NHL. He is. I think he's the greatest American-born hockey player of all time. If you want to say Madonna, I'm not going to argue with you. But this guy, Patty Kane, he's still the saucer pass he had across the zone to DeBrincat between three guys was just nasty. Like, he's still one of the best passers in the NHL, and the way he protects the puck is impressive to watch.
Yep, and oh by the way, $2.7 million.
Yeah.
So look at Neil's smile because the bagman likes that.
Well, that's elite return on your investment. Elite.